Hey everybody, and welcome back to Pre-Law Talk. My name is Joshua Garlick and I will be your host. I'm a current BYU Idaho communications student who will soon be applying to law school. I created this podcast in order to inform students about important topics such as the LSAT, the application process, law schools, and to give some advice. Alright, so I haven't been around for a little while. Sorry about that, guys. But if you remember, last time we talked about law school rankings. So today we're going to continue in part 3, which is law schools and advice, by talking about joint degrees. So I'll first go over the different types that are offered. We'll then talk about the pros, the cons, and then lastly, we will look at who should apply for a dual or joint degree. Alright, so what are the different types of joint degrees that are offered? So in the past, joint degrees were a bit more rare. Nowadays, you can join a JD program with just about any other master's or PhD programs available. Of course, this all depends upon the law school that you're going to. One of the most common types of joint or dual degrees is a JD MBA degree. So if you're looking to go into business law or related fields such as financial or corporate law, a JD MBA might be for you. Another common joint degree that lawyers get are the JD LLM, where you do your JD program and your LLM at the same time. So those are kind of the basics. You can obviously do any type of joint degree that you'd like. So if you'd like to go into medicine, if you want to do legal work in the healthcare market, then you can get a JD-MD. It really just depends on what you want to do. You can look into getting a joint or dual degree with the law school that you will be attending. So keep that in mind when applying to law schools. Let's move on to part 2. Alright, so what are some of the pros? So why should you get a JD or a dual degree with your law degree? Completing a dual degree obviously has its benefits. The total cost, so the overall cost of both degrees, will be lower if you do them at the same time. So obviously the amount of time as well taken out of your life to obtain both will be less because you're doing them at the same time. The opportunities that you will be offered will be more abundant because you'll be more competitive in your specific niche field that you're trying to go into. And just remember, this is all because you are working towards those degrees full-time for 4 years straight, unless, some programs are 3 years. But you're working full-time, there are no breaks, and those courses are back-to-back, through those 4 years to get those degrees at the same time. So you will be saving money, you will be saving time, and you will have more opportunities and be more competitive. Definitely something to look into if you want to get that. So on the other side of the coin are some of the cons. First of all, the joint or dual degree programs are not for the faint of heart. Obviously, law school is not for the faint of heart and is very difficult, but a dual degree or joint degree is even more difficult because, you're going straight from your law classes to, if you're to your other degrees classes. So whatever that's going to look like for you, it's going to be very difficult. So keep that in mind, not for the faint of heart. The cost per year of the program will be higher. So on average, it'll be about $50,000 more per year because you're getting both degrees at the same time, which is a con because you will be paying more per year than you otherwise would getting just a JD. Of course, if you were going to get both either way, like I said before, it'll cost less for both degrees. So keep that in mind. Next, there is no guarantee that you will land a job requiring both degrees. What I mean by this is, obviously no job will require you to have a dual or joint degree. The only reason you get a dual or joint degree is that you're going to go into a field with one of those degrees and the other will simply supplement you or help you to do that job even better. So hopefully you'll go into a field where you will use one of those degrees and then the other will supplement or help you either move up in that position or do something that you could not have done without that second degree. And lastly, one of the cons is that it takes longer, obviously, but it will be shorter than if you had done them one directly after the other because you're doing them at the same time. So keep that in mind. All right, so my last point, who should apply for a dual or joint degree? And this is important to note. You should only apply for a dual or joint degree if you meet the following 3 requirements. 1, you know that you can handle it. Because if you can't, your grades are going to suffer, and they're going to suffer big time. Second, you have to know that it will be useful for your future career path. This also links in with my third one. You need to know that it will give you some sort of advantage in your future career. So if you don't know what career path that you want to go down, you do not jump into a dual degree program just because it will make you more well-rounded. You need to know what type of work that you are going to be doing in the future and how these 2 degrees together will get you there. If not, I would not recommend doing a dual or joint degree program, and especially if you know that you can't handle it. So that's all I have for you today. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. Next time, we'll be talking about the different types or areas of law. So stick around. See you next time. Special shout out to bensounds.com. Thank you, Ben Sounds, for all this free royalty-free music.